In recent years, there's been a significant increase in mistrust of the United Nations. The crisis is largely due to one-sided interpretation of international processes and events. Belarus, as one of the founders of the organization, is sincerely concerned about the developments. We're planning to change the situation and make our contribution to the reforms as non-permanent member of the UN Security Council. At the same time, there are those who are actively trying to undercut Belarus in the track of international relations. What are the reasons for this, and how it will affect the geopolitical situation in the world? I am Andrei Sich. This is the screenshot. Let's get to the bottom of it. Belarus's path to the UN Security Council began back in 2007. Minsk found an application and became the only candidate from the Eastern European regional group. Contrary to the regulations, and apparently unexpectedly for itself, Slovenia jumped onto the track ahead of time. This is despite the fact that it's not customary to expose spoilers, according to the established diplomatic traditions of the group. In fact, it is a matter of basic respect for each other and, so to speak, a live queue. That's why applications are already booked up to 2051. The vacant place of Slovenia in the list for 2042 was almost instantly taken by Northern Macedonia. Slovenia was a member of the Security Council relatively recently in 1998-1999. Belarus, as an independent state, has never been a member of the Security Council. The only time Belarus was a member of the UN Security Council was when it was called the Belarusian Soviet Socialist Republic. At the time, and was one of the founders of the United Nations, we were members of the Security Council in 1974-1975, that's 50 years ago. Once again, as an independent state, we've never been members of the UN Security Council. The UN is being turned into a washboard with the only possible point of view. Dissent is immediately subjected to political anathema. In this sense, Slovenia is constrained by its obligations to the European Union. Brussels dictates the unity of opinion and position. In fact, if Slovenia is elected to the Council, only one voice will be added to the system of lobbying EU interests. The initiatives of official Ljubljana are out of the question. A striking example is the persecution of Viktor Orban. The implementation of Budapest's pragmatic policy has led to sanctions. They are trying to deprive Hungary of its presidency in the European Union next year.
The European Parliament respects neither European values nor democracy. First, it constantly criticizes the free elections in Hungary, does not accept their result, and rejects those whom Hungarians have elected to government in the name of democracy. Secondly, the MEPs do not respect the rule of law, because the MEPs have no role in this.
A heated debate between representatives of Belarus and Slovenia took place in New York. The main questions to the candidates were related to global topics in the field of ecology and security. Both are priorities for Belarus. As part of the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals, our country pays special attention to combating climate change. On the whole, successes are noted in all indicators, and is not only our assessment. The UN Secretary-General invited Alexander Lukashenko to take part in the next summit on the Sustainable Development Goals. As for regional security, we do have different views on the situation with Slovenia. While official Ljubljana sends munition and armored vehicles to the battlefield, Minsk provides a platform for dialogue and advocates an immediate cessation of hostilities. We must stop now before escalation begins, and I will try to take the risk of suggesting a cessation of hostilities. Yes, many people now, especially in Russia, may say, well, we already stopped then in Donbass. Another moment, another situation. and given those conditions, it is necessary to stop the hostilities, to declare a ceasefire without the right to move, regroup troops from both sides without the right to move weapons and ammunition, manpower and equipment. That's it. Dead. Freeze. In many respects, the situation at the UN Security Council vote turns to the choice of the development path in the region. Will the voice of common sense be heard in favor of a ceasefire, or will the supply of weapons and armored vehicles continue under the slogan of peace? Time will tell whether the international discussion platform is alive and whether there is a prospect for evolutionary development of the UN. And Sich on the choice between lobbyism and transparency in this screenshot.